Hello, this is aredsmoke, and this is a video response to a video response that my brother made um, to my video about aliens being, or I mean, gods being aliens from the future and stuff like that. It's hard to say. That's a pretty old video, and um, I just have to clarify some things because, first of all, I don't absolutely believe that uh, God or gods exist in the first place, whether as an alien or as a time traveler or as a supernatural being or whatever. And back when I made that video, I was I was watching that show Ancient Aliens a lot, and you know, so I was kind of just thinking all this weird shit, and but I want to make 2 points. And so first of all, I mean, I have to clarify the point that I'm an atheist, and so I don't believe in a supernatural God, but I do think that it's a lot more likely that that if God does exist, or quote unquote God does exist, then they're actually a super advanced being from either another dimension or another planet or something like that, or maybe super evolved humans from the future. Um, so I have to clarify that point, that I don't necessarily, I don't make the assertion that there were aliens, like in Ancient Aliens, if you've ever seen that series. Um, I don't make the assertion that aliens did come to the planet Earth and that they appeared as gods and stuff like that. Excuse me. But um, but I will say that if those stories of, you know uh, heavenly beings coming down from the sky, and and humans communicating with with gods and stuff like that, um, if those stories are true, then it's much more likely that they were actually either ETs or EDs. ET being extraterrestrial, or ED being extra dimensional, or you know, or ECs, extra chronological, meaning time travelers. Um, so yeah, I mean, I do support that kind of idea of, I think it's much more likely that if mankind was created by some uh, sup- uh, higher power or superior being, that there's a scientific explanation for it that's not supernatural. Um, so now that I've made that point, I kind of want to address something else about Jim Younkin's video, and it's I'll try to not be disrespectful, uh, because um, addressing the point that he was making in his video about how he thinks that God is a superior being, and how he thinks that God actually is a human. And I saw it coming, because we were both we're brothers, so we were both raised in the same family, obviously, but we were both raised with the same kind of beliefs, and you know, uh, what he was talking about God being a human and about God being a super advanced being, but how he doesn't think that, you know, how God doesn't look like us and stuff like that. You know, that's just Mormon beliefs, and so that's why I saw it coming, because I knew where he was going with the video. You know, in the first couple minutes, um, when he said that he agreed with me, but he, you know, he kind of didn't. He kind of agreed with me, but didn't. Um, you know, it's um, you know, because what he was saying uh, about God being human, because for anyone who is unfamiliar with Mormon beliefs, Mormons believe that that God is a human who evolved to godhood. So there's kind of this idea of, you know, there's God, or God started out, he was born on some planet a long time ago, and he progressed, and he was created by another God who was created by another, or who was a human, and who evolved, and, you know, stuff like that. And basically God was a human, he evolved, not in the scientific biological evolution way, but like in the idea of spiritual evolution. And you know, he became a god, um, which, you know, that's something you learn in Mormonism, and you know, they never really explain where where it all begins, because they talk about this sort of, you know, this progression of a human is created by a god, and then the human becomes a god, and then, but you go back and you go back and you go back, and if you think about it, you know, who was the first god? I mean, is there like a super god that who created all the gods, or was it some kind of like biology where like these super advanced beings, like, uh you know, evolved in a biological sense to the point where they were godlike, and then they started creating these gods, you know? That's something I never, they never talk about in church, because quite frankly, I don't think they have an answer for it. um so in conclusion, and I'm sorry I ramble a lot, you know, because I'm turning into my mother, which isn't a bad thing, but, you know, as my mother tends to ramble on about stuff. Um, but I love my mom, so it's not an insult. Um, so I guess in conclusion, I would challenge my brother to address that question that I had about kind of the, you know, if God is a human, and you can look this up, just look up Mormon beliefs, or, you know, just Google it or something like that, or, you know, as God was, man, or as man is, God once was, and as God is, man can be, and stuff like that. Um, you know, it's like if God was a human who evolved spiritually into godhood, and if his father, his not his physical father, but his God father, I mean, not his godfather, but the God that created him, um, was a human, you know, does it just go back endlessly, or was, you know, was there a, like I said, was there a super god that created everything, or was this whole program started out by beings who evolved biologically into godhood? So, you know, because I mean, I understand Mormonism pretty well, and that's something that is, if you search, if you read their books, if you read all the scriptures and all the, and everything, everything else in all their materials, they never explain that, and Joseph Smith never explained that, and I would contend that he didn't have an answer for it, but maybe that's just my own bias. Yeah. Okay, that was totally random.